Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Travel Talk. I am excited to talk to you today about Universal Hollywood. So about a month ago, the team at Magical Memory Planners headed out for our training in California, and we spent some time at Disneyland, and we spent a day at Universal Hollywood. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Universal Hollywood, and people think that it's just a smaller version of Universal Orlando, and that is really not true at all. And so today we are going to talk about things that you need to know about Universal Hollywood that really makes it significantly different than the parks in Orlando, Florida. So the first thing is that Universal Hollywood is an active film studio. So it's actually the largest and the busiest motion picture and studio in the world. So that is a pretty exciting thing. So it really isn't a theme park alone. It really is a live and active studio with a theme park kind of attached to it. And so that is one of the really cool things about Universal Hollywood, especially if you're someone who loves the movies. So if you want to experience more about the movies and where things are filmed and such, you can take their studio tour. It's about 45 minutes. It's a tram ride, and it takes you all through the back lot, and it shows you all kinds of different things. So you'll see like places where films were actually created originally. So scenes from Back to the Future, for example, when they go through the town square and they're up on the clock tower, you'll get to drive through where that scene was actually filmed. Other things that you'll get to see is like country western sets and sets for the cities and like New York and such. And they'll kind of explain to you how they do that. There's two rides that are part of the tour. So the Kong ride and then the Fast and the Furious, which you may be familiar with if you've been on them in Orlando. So those are similar. But then you get to really just go see all the different sound stages. So when we were on our tour, they were actually doing live filming. So although we didn't see all that much, there was times where our tour guide had to be quiet because we were within earshot of them filming, and we kind of stopped and waited to see what we would see. But that's just kind of the fun thing about it being a live studio. So as we went through the different sound stages, they pointed out what they were filming there right now. There are shows that are actually being filmed there on the daily during this time. And then they also showed us some of the housing. So years ago, the studio used to have a contract with an actor, and they were kind of just contracted with the studio to do whatever they needed. And so their dressing rooms were almost like little cottages or little apartments. And so we went through that area of the lot where a lot of those buildings are still there, although they're not used the same now. But they kind of would point out like who stayed here and who lived there. One of them, I believe belonged to Alfred Hitchcock. I think there was one, I can't remember if it was Lucille Ball or somebody else. But anyway, it was really cool just to go by and see those different places where they lived and where they walked and kind of how the studio used to be run. If you are a real movie buff, you might want to see like where they filmed Jaws, where they filmed, I think it was War of the Worlds, one of the airplane scenes. They had the crash scene there. So you can kind of see how they deconstructed the airplane, an actual airplane, and then used it for filming. They have vehicles from all different types of movies, the actual ones that they would use. So in some cases, they would be using a real vehicle, and then other times they would be using a stunt double sort of the vehicle. And so they'll point out in different movies when they were using which and kind of how to tell if you go back and watch the movie. So that was really cool, especially if you're into cars. And if you really, really are into the movies, you do have the opportunity at Universal Hollywood to do a VIP tour. And if you do that, instead of being on the big tram with everyone, you'll actually be like in a smaller trolley, and they will take you around the back lot and show you more unique things, especially things that might be specific to your interests and that you would have more time to do that. So that might be something to consider if you're a huge movie buff fan and just would really want to do that. But it's really maybe one of the biggest things that sets apart Orlando and Hollywood is Hollywood being that live and active motion picture studio. So the second thing that you really need to know when you go there is that the park is on two levels. It's basically built into the side of a mountain. And so there's the top level and then an enormous series of escalators. I think there's 4 or 5 of the longest escalators you've ever been on in your life. And that takes you down to the lower level. If you can't do an escalator, there is an elevator option. but most people are using the escalators because I think there's only really one elevator. So this is important for two reasons. For one, when you're looking for an attraction that you're looking to go to, you need to be sure if you know if it's on the top or the bottom, because otherwise you'd be wandering around, you'll never find it. The way the map looks, it almost looks like they're in the same place. So you need to know if you're looking at something on the top level or the bottom level. The second really important thing to consider is kind of a strategy of your day. You'll want to start on one level and do most of it or all of it, and then go to the other level, because it can take a long time to get between them with all the escalators. It's not really a fast process. So you don't want to really spend a lot of time going back and forth. So one of our recommendations right now with the Super Nintendo World being open, which is on the bottom level, is to start your day there because that's the most popular. So you can head in and go straight down to the lower level, do Super Nintendo World, the Mummy is down there, as well as some of the Jurassic World things, and then head back up. The Studio Lot Tour is on the main level, as is the Secret Life of Pets, Hogsmeade with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and what else is it there? The Simpsons area. So there are other things too, but those are the biggest ones. So yeah, so in most cases, we would just recommend probably going down to that lower level first and hit up those areas and then come back up to the top. The third thing that is super unique about Universal Hollywood, which I just kind of mentioned, is Super Nintendo World. So this just opened in February of 2023, and it is super cool, whether you're a huge Nintendo fan or not. It is a really, really well done land. I mean, once you go through the little tunnel into Super Nintendo World, it's like the music, the sights, it just looks like you're in the middle of a Nintendo game and in like the middle of like a Super Mario Brothers game. So super fun area to be. So there's a few things in there that I just want to point out. So there's one main ride, and that is Mario Kart Bowser's Revenge. And everyone makes fun of me how I say that. I think most people say Mario. I've always said Mario because I'm from New York. So anyway, you know the ride. It's super fun. It's very interactive. You get a helmet and goggles, and then you actually like play the game by driving the cart through the ride and trying to like, you know, take out the people and shoot the shells and stuff like that. So it's super fun, a super fun ride for people to play along and experience the ride in the game. And then there's a restaurant in there called Toadstool Cafe. And in true like Toadstool fashion, there's mushrooms in everything. They can accommodate mushroom allergies, but there's mushrooms in everything. So if you really don't like mushrooms, maybe don't be too hungry when you go there. But the food was awesome. I had a burger with mushrooms on it and cheese, and it was really delicious. They had some really crazy good desserts there and some really cute things. So that is the quick service restaurant. And then there's some meet and greets. So you can meet Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach. And then they have these wristbands that you can purchase. And that's so that you can kind of play the game in Super Nintendo World. So you know how like when you're in the ride or playing the game and they jump up and they hit a block and it makes like ding, 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 and you get coins. So you can wear this wristband and go to the different areas where there's that little block with the question mark on it. And then you tap your arm to that block, and it ding, 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 ding. I think you get a maximum of 10 coins. And you can go around the whole land and collect coins. And then there's different levels that open up if you have enough coins that you can go do some other activities. So again, for a Super Mario fan, that can be super fun. So that's just a really cute land that just opened in Hollywood. Now, that will not be unique to Hollywood forever because it is coming to Orlando when they open their new theme park, which I'm not sure that we have all the dates on that yet, but they will be opening a new theme park, and one of the lands will be Super Nintendo World. So it will be coming to the East Coast, but for right now, it is unique to Universal Hollywood. The fourth thing is there is one park and city walk in Hollywood. So there's a couple things to note about that. So it is kind of a mashup of what you find in Florida. So there are things from both Universal Orlando that you will see in there, Universal Studios Orlando, and things from Islands of Adventure. For example, there is a Hogsmeade. It is similar to what the original Hogsmeade was in Universal Orlando. It hasn't changed. So in Orlando, they added the Hagrid motorbike adventure. That is not the one in California. They have the Flight of Hippogriff, and they have the Hogwarts Castle, and Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So they have honeydukes and they have broomsticks and they have, all that kind of thing. So it's very, very similar to the original Hogsmeade in Florida. There is no Hogwarts Express because there's nowhere to go because it's just that land. It is on the top level of Universal Hollywood. And they also have things like The Simpsons. They have The Mummy, but it is a different story than the one in Florida. So if you're a Mummy fan, you'll want to ride both. They have a Jurassic World section. They have a new Jurassic World ride. It is a water ride, similar but different to the one in Florida, but they do not have a Velocicoaster. So some of the things that are kind of familiar. And then over from the Universal Studios Orlando side, you'll see things like The Simpsons. The Mummy was from that side. Trying to think what else is from over there. But so it's kind of like a mashup. And then they have the unique and new things that they only have in Hollywood, like the Super Nintendo World, the studio tour, of course, and they have like the Secret Life of Pets, which is super, super cute. We really enjoyed that. And then there's a City Walk. And again, City Walk is somewhat familiar. There's a few things there that you will recognize, like Margaritaville, Voodoo Donuts, the Chocolate Emporium. So there's a few restaurants that you'll see that they both have. There are some things there that are not in Florida as well, some other restaurants and stores and shops and stuff. But the other thing that's really important to note about Universal Hollywood and their City Walk is City Walk closes just about the same time the park does. So if the park is open till 7 or 8 p.m., City Walk is closing probably at like 8 p.m. I looked at the hours for today in the middle of March when I'm recording this, and the park closes at 10 and City Walk closes at 10. So at Universal in Florida, City Walk usually is open till midnight, sometimes 2 a.m. And it's kind of a place you can kind of hang out at night and stuff like that. But in Hollywood, really once the park closes, so does City Walk. So you'll just want to keep that in mind if you were planning to eat in City Walk or spend some time there, or you wanted to shop or get those Voodoo Donuts. Make sure you get there with enough time to get that done and not wait till after park closing to head over there. So the hours there are a little different, something to keep in mind. The last thing that I want to talk about that is different in Hollywood is Express Pass. So there is Express Pass, just like there is in Florida, which is awesome because we do love Express Pass. In Florida, there's 2 ways to get it. You can purchase Express Pass, or you can stay at one of their premium hotels where Express Pass is included for free. It is a little bit different at Universal, and if you don't know, you will overpay, so pay attention. In Universal, there are 2 ticket types. There's a regular ticket, and there's an Express Pass ticket, and that is it. So if you purchase an Express Pass ticket, you do not need to also purchase admission. The Express Pass includes the admission. So you only need one ticket, either an Express Pass ticket or a regular ticket. Do not buy both because you will have double admission and have overspent. So that is something that is very different. There is not a way to get the Express Pass with a hotel. There is partner hotels in Universal Hollywood that you can stay at that can make it really great and easy to plan a vacation to the Hollywood area, including Universal and other studio tours and things like that. But there's nothing that includes the Express Pass. So just make sure when you're booking your tickets or purchasing your tickets, hopefully you're calling us and we're doing it for you and we're making sure everything's correct. But if not, make sure that you are not double purchasing your tickets and you're just buying either the Express Pass ticket or a regular ticket. So that is overall all the things that are different and to note about Universal Hollywood. You can make an amazing vacation out there, stay in the Universal Hollywood area at one of their partner hotels, add on other activities and stay out there for a couple of days, with Universal Hollywood being one day at the theme park, and then some other tours and activities in the area can be combined to make it a really nice vacation. And then if you wanted to, you could do a split stay and head to another area of California to do some other activities as well. So if you're thinking about a trip to California, consider Universal Hollywood, and we would love to help you. Thanks.